So this week's video and article is all about you can't lead from rigidity, and sometimes unconventional leaders have a blind spot for rigidity. And what rigidity is the inability to bend or to be forced out of shape. It also is an inability to change or adapt. So when I say it like that, you can see where most of the time that would not be the best thing in a circumstance. The funniest thing is this happened to come into my conversation from a client, actually. And in the end, I had to chuckle because my own circumstances right now are requiring me to be tested on some of my own ways that I may have boxed myself in, and I may not be allowing the people that I love the most to actually access me or reach me or get assistance when they need it because I'm really busy or I'm doing certain things. That creates a rigidity. So in the article, I talk about actually a client in particular who is running a company, and there's she's a CEO. It's a family-owned organization, and one of the participants in that family for years has been very rigid about their way of doing things, and it's I'll get back to that story in a minute. So one of the ways we can get rigid is in boundaries, which are really good to have, and having healthy boundaries is really important. I'm never going to discourage that. When our boundaries, though, completely block out progress, growth, kind of reality, that's when we've gone too rigid and too far. Routines, another fabulous item. I can't tell you enough. Unconventional leaders, neurodiverse leaders, routines are good. Like, they are a huge help. So often when clients start out with me, zero routines. They want, oh man, the list of what our goals are working together are long, and all of them are going to require some routines. And becoming too routined can also leave you unavailable for kind of some of the miracles in life and to some of the amazing people in your life. So that's another area that I notice rigidity can sneak up on leaders. Systems. Sometimes either they create systems and are super like, it needs to be this way, or they have a team member. I've seen this a few times where they have a team member who's everybody's kind of afraid of, even because they're like, ooh, if we mess with that system, if it doesn't turn out perfect, like so-and-so will be all over us. By the way, I've probably been that person at least once or twice with clients. So I'll own that definitely early on. I mean, what I would say is we've left that one behind. Definitely doing better. Rigidity in those areas, though, can, again, block people out. It blocks your progress. It actually blocks your growth. You have to be available for flexibility. And that means being comfortable with uncomfortable at times. It also means hiring people like coaches, counselors, psychiatrists, those types of things to help you identify and notice your blind spots and not stay fixed on those blind spots. Just embrace them and figure out how to work around it, how to add a little more flexibility in there. Because flexibility is lovely. Again, I meet lots of clients super flexible, and we got to add in some of the structure. Sometimes we can go too far. They get so comfortable. They feel how amazing it is to be so regulated and to have so many less choices, and how calming that can be, that they're like, nope, I'm never letting that happen again. It's okay. It won't. You now understand the difference between those. So it's okay. It's okay. Just my reminder. If you're sitting in that situation right now, just my little bit of a reminder on that. Back to my CEO I was talking about. I recognized that in the conversations as we've been coaching, that possibly she and some of the other family members had become very rigid in their dealing with that person and in their thoughts and ideas, like how that has been going. They're now rigid and unflexible. So now it's two immovable objects. And that's really the key problem when that comes at both angles. And so I posed a question for her. Have you looked at this situation to see how it might be to your advantage? And after she got done laughing at me, I said, no, I meant that really seriously. Have you done that? Let's do it right now. How could this be? Think of a colleague. Now let me repeat it back to you. Take a breath. It's not you. It's a colleague. Here's what I'm saying. And I repeated a lot of the facts in her situation and so forth. I'm like, how could this be to their advantage? How could they make this useful? She found it. She found actually 3 or 4 options. She's going with one in particular. And it does mean that she's going to get out of the extreme boundaries she'd placed because of this person's lack of boundaries. And she's going to just give them one space to have a little more freedom and encourage that and participate in that differently than trying to restrict it, to the point of what I will also remind you is that a cousin of rigidity is control. And when things slide over into that and people feel that as though they're being controlled, as though they're being managed extremely, that gets into a whole nother set of leadership challenges. And you don't want to go there. So if you're noticing the rigidity, that's the early signs of things that can wander into control. And this is my hint that it's time for you to reconsider how you're managing that and increase your flexibility, which I'm excited to say she's working on. We just had this conversation recently, but definitely she's already implemented part of it and informed the person, and they're really excited. So remember, rigidity happens. It really I see it happen to all of my clients. It happens to me from time to time. Notice it though. Like, I'm bringing this to your attention so you can notice it. And then the great reminder is do something about it. Make it a lot easier on yourself. So if you want to read the whole article, I highly recommend. There's some more stories in there. I can't tell you all of that. Come on, it'd be so boring. I'm JoyGenea, unconventional leadership coach, international neurodiversity coach, and champion for those people that just, thank goodness, are not working from in the box. They are way outside the box. So don't be too rigid with your creation of your own box, or you might get stuck in it. Bye now.